Yo, what's good? It's Paul. Paul runs for one. And I've been running in the Infinity Reacts for about 3 weeks now. Put on about 50 miles in them. I mean, I don't run a lot, but put about 50 miles in them. And I can't do this review without comparing it to the Epic React 2s. Yeah, it's going to be too hard because I'm just going to make a bunch of comparisons to it and talking about the uppers, the midsole, the ride, etc., the traction. All right, let's just get into this. Aesthetics, as always. When I compare the aesthetics of the Epic Reacts to the Infinity React, honestly, these were probably my favorite shoes of all of 2019. So when I heard there was going to probably be an upgrade or something different with React in them, I was pretty excited. And I'm always a sucker for release colorways, regardless of like how crazy they look sometimes. I just kind of like fall in love with them, through time as they get dirty, I start running in them, etc. Same thing kind of happened here. I feel like it's like a thing where I'm just like really into how leather patinas and then also how running shoes get dirty and patinas or whatever it is. But yeah, first initial reaction from the last video or my reaction video was like, this was way too clean. It felt like it was all white. I mean, the color doesn't say that it's white. Nike's box shoe says that this is a platinum tint / black pink blast. So this is not white, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of not. It's kind of like an off white-ish sometimes, depending on where the light is. But this kind of just grew on me as I started running in them, as I got in them dirty, and then also seeing pictures of Nike's promotions or even other runners running in the Infinity Reacts. They just look amazing. People running through mud, dirt, etc., road. They just look really good. I mean, compared to the Epic React 2s, I just feel like I would pick the Infinity React in terms of aesthetics. If these two were the same colorways, I probably would pick this too, just because the Nike sign looks a lot better. There's just like little design details where the heel area is kind of half wrapped in this beautiful little pink blast thing, and then even also in where the plastic reinforcement is as well too, in the bottom, in the back of the heel. It just looks better. But that's my opinion. Aesthetics is whatever. Let's talk about the uppers. Let's talk about what the evolution of Flyknit here feels like. Honestly, to the feel, to the touch, Flyknit has a certain feeling. It feels like really precision, like knit on the uppers. But on this, it feels like a mix of the vapor weaves. Like, this reminds me of like the vapor weave. There's 3 layers in the Flyknit where it feels like inside of the shoe, it feels like Flyknit. It feels like when I put my foot in the Epic Reacts, what that feels like. But in the uppers, it feels like there is some component of vapor weave on the top of the shoe, which does make it feel a lot more reinforced, a lot more durable, but still has that flexibility that I'm kind of used to when I wear any type of Flyknit shoe. Kudos to Nike for continuing to innovate and refine what Flyknit is. The breathability in terms of this shoe is really, really good. Maybe a little bit too good, especially during kind of like the winter cold wind spells where when I'm running I can really feel my foot is just feeling all of that air coming through. So this is going to be a great summer shoe for me personally. Now we gotta talk about the heel. Gotta talk about the heel area. And what this means that Nike did in terms of kind of the plastic kind of heel cup, which extends to about half of the shoe compared to just a quarter of the shoe on the Epic Reacts. Really adding to the stability of this shoe. Honestly, also that pink area, it's not just for aesthetics, it's also function. It adds a reinforced structure. It feels more kind of rigid compared to what it feels like on the Epic Reacts, that it just feels a little more secure, like it can stand up on its own, it's not going to collapse. This feels like it's just a good running shoe. Both of these are a 10.5. They fit pretty similarly, but the midfoot area, forefoot area is wider, which is great for people who have wider feet. I never had any issues in terms of the fit of the Epic Reacts, but you know, a little more space is nice. I wouldn't say I would size a half size down because of the extra space. Felt fine to me, didn't have any issues. So the fit, I would probably go true to size here. Some people might go a half size down, but they feel pretty good. The lacing system is nearly the same. Kind of the lacing eyelets are all separated by twos in each area. So really kind of cutting down on the materials here that's like used on the uppers. You know, they cut here and there and just kind of feels, it just feels just so much more refined in terms of the uppers of the Infinity React versus the Epic Reacts. So didn't have any issues there. The next thing is the midsole. Like, we have to talk about the midsole because there's 24% more React foam in here versus that's in the Epic Reacts. Honestly, I'll throw up the weight measurements. It's about an ounce kind of heavier or so, but honestly, I don't feel it. I don't feel that it is kind of weighing me down during the runs. The thing about React in both of these shoes is when I put them on initially, there's no break-in period. It just feels comfortable. It feels springy. Maybe over time, the energy return will be different, but in terms of the midsole and having that extra React, having a wider base in the midsole, feels like I'm more in control. I don't feel like when I'm cutting corners during my run or turning, that I feel my foot is kind of pronating out and overextending my ankles. You know, I don't feel that like tenderness of the ankle after a run. I just really feel more in control when I'm running with this midsole of the Infinity React versus the Epic Reacts. You know, although I've never had any real issue with the Epic Reacts, I just feel more in control in terms of how I kind of like navigate around trails or navigate around the road. It just feels a lot better. In terms of energy return, you know, that's kind of like depending on the person. I felt like when I put this on, like I was pretty excited to kind of run. So I was getting a lot of kind of good paces around like 8 to 8:30 to 9 minutes per mile. But it felt good. I just felt like I was rocking forward, moving, grooving as usual. Honestly, energy return it feels the same. Honestly, even with the additional weight, it feels similar to what I'm used to in the Epic Reacts. Let's talk about the soles. The sole of the shoes, bottom of the shoes, is honestly one of my favorite upgrades that Nike made. Look at all this rubber. Yeah, all of this black here is just straight rubber. You know, Nike really skimped on the rubbers, putting it in the heel of the shoe and then the forefoot of the shoe, and then all of this is just exposed foam, which I've only ran and walked probably about 100 miles in the Epic Reacts, and they're already kind of like beat up. I've taken them, like, stupidly enough, like to trails when I have like impromptu hikes and slipped in them or almost slipped in them. I did the same thing here too as well with Infinity Reacts, just going on kind of like dirt trails, and just kind of testing how good the rubber is in terms of just keeping me stable, keeping me secure, and it's worked great. I am kind of like a mid-foot striker, not a forefoot striker. So in the Epic Reacts, it was kind of hard sometimes. I could kind of feel myself losing some footing, like running after some rain where the ground is damp and stuff like that. So thank you, Nike. Thank you for putting in a whole bunch of rubber on the sole and really making the shoe durable. All right, we can't talk about these two shoes without talking about price, right? The Epic Reacts retail for about $150, and the Infinity Reacts retail about $160. It depends on the colorway, but you can probably get this for under $100 currently if you live like near a clearance store. If you live near an outlet, Nike always has sales. There's already models that are going on sale. So is it worth maybe the $60, $70, sometime $80 difference to upgrade to the Infinity React? I mean, I'm cheap. I work nonprofit. I would probably give these a try. If you can, just kind of see the difference that Nike has made, and all the research that they have put in this, in terms of researching, how likely folks are going to get injured, etc. And give this a try, because I think the refines and the increase in durability and just the upgrades here makes this shoe last a lot longer than the Epic Reacts. So I think for the money, yeah, definitely try it. I would wait for them to go on sale, but that's just me. But I really like these shoes. I've been wearing them casually to work, to just hang out, and then running in them after just hanging out and stuff like that. And they've been great. That transition, as always, like, for me, this category is like the category of Epic Reacts, of Infinity Reacts, for me as always has been, can I just bring this one shoe, rock them wherever I travel, what city I'm in, and then also run in them, and just have this shoe that can be a good all-around shoe that's not kind of categorized as just a running shoe. This is also, to some folks, a stylish shoe, and you can kind of look good in them depending on your style. I don't really care, but for myself, because I'm just an athleisure kind of guy. But yeah, the shoe does it all. The shoe is a good all-around kind of, like, for me, casual wear, and also running up to 10 miles, probably a half marathon, for sure a half marathon, maybe even a full marathon. Probably not for me, but I think that this shoe is worth the upgrade. Honestly, kudos to Nike. I know I feel like I'm like sucking up, kissing butt, but I really, really like the shoe. I mean, coming from the Epic React 2s, like, I was always a fan. Not the Epic React Odysseys, but the Epic Reacts, the actual versions of them. I am I'm such a fan of what they did here in terms of upgrading everything about the shoe. It feels good. I mean, I have my gripes about kind of not having heel lock, but it is what it is, right? I've ran in the Epic React, so I have no delusions about like what the heel is gonna feel like when I run. I have no complaints. I am a Epic React fan, through and through. I really like Epic Reacts, or I'm sorry, I really like the React foam that Nike has developed, and having more of it here and not feeling like it's weighed down feels great. Oh, my voice cracked. This is just a good shoe for me. So, yeah, sorry, this video has been long, but I really wanted to just, as I was like recording this review, I could just always think about what it feels like compared to Epic Reacts. If the price is too much and you can find this for under $100, get it, get the Epic Reacts, and then wait for the Infinity Reacts. But honestly, I feel like the durability wise, Infinity Reacts will last longer, just based on the upgrade of adding the rubber and this freaking Flyknit. You gotta feel it for yourself. It feels like a level down from Vaporwave, but if it has a similar feeling. So let me know down below what you think of the what you think of the Infinity Reacts. Have you tried them? Have you bought them? Let me know down below. As always, keep doing what you're doing. I'm trying to make more videos. Peace. God, that was so hard.